What's up, guys? Welcome back to Maddie and Daddy Vlogs. I do have another Maddie story for you today. Today I'm going to be talking about water breaking all the way up to delivery, at least our story. A couple of tips and hints on what worked for us. Maybe a couple things that I wish I knew from a dad's perspective. All right, so I was getting up early for the gym, like you probably saw in one of my last videos. I was backing out of the driveway and my wife actually called, and I found that odd because she never calls unless it's an emergency or she needs me to get something, or maybe in my mind I thought maybe I had forgotten something. So I answer the phone and she says, "I'm pretty sure my water broke." I pulled back into the garage and I got out of the car. Here's the first tip I would say is make sure that you pack bags prior to going to the hospital. I'm talking about a month, maybe even a month and a half prior to your due date. Pack a bag for baby, pack a bag for mom, and pack a bag for yourself. I would pack a few days worth of clothes and your toiletries because that's what we did, and we left it in the laundry room. So come water breaking time and it was time to go to the hospital, that was one less thing we had to worry about. So I put the bags in the car immediately, and the car seat as well. The car seat, the base, everything was already good to go. So that's another thing I would probably focus on too. Well before your due date, practice getting the car seat in and out of the car. It sounds dumb, but I'm telling you, it works. Make sure the base is put in there properly. Make sure that you can get the car seat in and out with no issues, little to no hesitation. You're just checking off things that you don't have to worry about later on. Car seat was good to go. Bags were packed. I run upstairs. Sure enough, the water had broken. There was water by my wife's side of the bed, and there was a trail going to the bathroom. So I run in there. She's in there. She's kind of freaking out because this is game time. Water's broken. This is game time. One thing I didn't know about water breaking. In the movies, you see the water breaking and it's like a one-time deal. Oh, water's broken. Oh, we got to go to the hospital. Well, what they don't show you is that fluid continues to come out with every contraction for the most part. So every contraction she was having, that fluid is still coming out because it's got to get all that fluid out, I guess, before baby gets there. One tip I would say is, and we just so happen to have it on hand, adult diapers. Please. Yeah, we did have adult diapers on hand. You don't want to know why. Nothing weird, just we had them. But it turned out to be very, very beneficial. Some people put towels in their car. Some people put down blankets. It's up to you, but having an adult diaper for her to wear actually was really good for us. We put the wife in an adult diaper. It's okay. She knows that I've said this. It's all good. I'm not going to be in the doghouse. We drive to the hospital. A lot of people are wondering, did you freak out? How did you feel? I didn't really freak out. I took a couple deep breaths, and I knew that I needed to be strong for my wife. If I freaked out and she freaked out, then I think it would just make the situation worse. So I didn't freak out. Plus it was 4 o'clock in the morning, so traffic was really, really light. So we caught pretty much every light. We got checked in. We called the hospital prior to getting there. So they knew that we were coming. They knew that our water had broken. We get to the hospital, we get her checked in. Based off how she was feeling and based off of, everything that was going on, we thought, man, we were within like 3 to 4 hours of having a baby. We thought Maddie was coming out quick. And that didn't seem to be the case. Of course, they hook you up to the monitors. They hook baby up to the monitors, similar to like the breech procedure, so that you can see baby's heart rate. And of course, they're checking on mom. And her contractions are getting rough, but she's not dilating, right? So we thought, man, we were gonna be in there and she'd be super dilated. I think she was somewhere between 1 to 3 centimeters. Of course, you wanna be roughly 7 to 10, more on the 10 side of dilation. So we weren't even close. Doctor on staff at the time checks in with us. Hey, we're gonna monitor you, make sure you're good to go. Once you're dilated more, we can start trying to help you get the baby out, but right now you're just not at that point. So that was really tough. Contractions were getting stronger. They gave her some Pitocin and pain meds. At a certain point in the day, hours had started passing and she's not dilating. They flip her on different sides, in hopes that that would help her start to dilate more. That didn't work. At a certain point, the anesthesiologist came in. The pain was getting severe, and the wife held off as long as she could, but she asked for the epidural. They do the epidural, and if you've never seen an epidural done or had one done, it's crazy. Like, they start from scratch. They open up their epidural packet. They sanitize. They do all that. They sanitize the back, and so he did it the first time. And he puts the epidural in, and at the very end, after they put everything on her back and, you know, poked her with the long needle, they have to check it to make sure no blood gets in it. Well, the first time, blood got in it, so he had to start all over. There's not a certain part in the process where they can say, okay, we can go back to step blah. Like, that's not how it works. They have to start from scratch. So they are peeling the tape off, peeling the plastic off, doing everything again. The only thing you could do is really just be there for your significant other. They have you stand, like, she's on the bed and she's facing you, legs down, and like kind of just like she's sitting up in a chair. And then she's leaned over, holding on to you because she's got to get her back open so they can stick the needle in there. It's a whole long process, but it's really nothing you could do except just be supportive. And that's kind of the process all throughout this labor and delivery process. Is you're gonna feel really helpless at some points, because sometimes there's nothing you can do except just be there for her. But being there for her is it's the biggest thing you can do. You don't know what it feels like. You don't know all that stuff, but it's just important to just be there for her. So don't forget that. So he starts all over, does the epidural. This time it's good. We keep going throughout the day. At this point, it had been like 12 hours had passed, 13 hours of labor had passed. No baby, no dilation, not getting any better. They start to do the flipping again, but remember the epidural's in the back. So at some point, they pulled the epidural out again. So this is number 2 epidural, right? We have to do number 3. 3 epidurals. Any pregnant lady who has had an epidural can tell you that's bananas. He comes in, takes the tape off, starts from scratch, do the epidural once again. At some point, all the family members came in, so we got in there at around 5 a.m. Her mom and dad got there at 6. Her mom stayed with me throughout the whole day, and then probably roughly around 3 or 4 in the afternoon, everybody showed up. Her whole family, brothers, sister-in-laws, and then my parents came in. At that point, Ashlyn's wiped out. I think I had a little bit to eat. Oh yeah, here's another thing. If you're a dad, pack a bag of snacks and food, or have somebody that you trust to come bring you food. I no joke, in the 3 days we were in the hospital, I'm pretty sure I lost 5 to 7 pounds. No joke, because I didn't plan for it. The hospital is not there for you. They are there for baby and they are there for mom. Those two will get fed no matter what. You, on the other hand, they'll tell you to go check out the water fountain. It's nothing personal. It's not their job to feed you, and I completely understand it. But going in, I would tell any dad, make sure you pack snacks or have a meal plan, because if you don't, you're gonna wither away, man. I'm telling you, you're gonna wither away. It is now 6 p.m. Still nothing, maybe a little bit of dilation, but by this point they were anticipating that baby would be out, and that did not happen. And so the wife's frustrated, still strong contractions. Pain meds are in and out for whatever reason. Maybe due to the movement, maybe due to different things, but at a certain point, one side had gotten numb pretty good, but the other side not so much, and that caused a few issues. We're later into the night. It's probably 11 p.m. at this point, And the nurse who had checked us in prior, the morning before, or earlier that morning, had gone home because her shift ended, 'cause she's night shift, and then came back. The nurse came in and she's like, I just want to speak candidly. Here's the situation. She's not dilating. I know you wanted to have a natural vaginal birth, but I just don't see it happening. You're prolonging it, and to be honest, I think you guys should just go with the C-section. And she, she was very respectful about it, and she was really worried that she was going to step on our toes when she talked about this. But it was the realest that anybody had been with us on staff at that point. And that's no diss on staff, because they were really great, but I think they were all hoping that she would dilate. Not the case. It took like 2 minutes. She was like, let's do the C-section. I was like, cool, if that's what so that's why I say, if you watch the breech video, I told you at the end of that, we did the breech procedure, but at the end of it all, it didn't matter because we had to go with the C-section anyway. So we tell the doctor, and the doctor's like, cool, all right, yeah, I think that's a great idea. That was 11. They said probably within an hour and a half, we'll be ready for you. And pretty much it went like that. It started becoming a blur at that point, because I'm tired, mama's tired, baby's tired, because she's like, I just want to get out of here. So yeah, by midnight 30, we were in the back. And the only way I could explain it is if you watch a NASCAR team when they're in the pit, when the car comes in the pit and they start getting prepped and ready to go, everybody in that room, and it's about felt like 10 people, 7 to 10 people. Everybody had a job. Everybody knew what to do. I'm sitting in the back getting dressed, because they're like, hey dad, you ready to go, getting dressed. They've got the wife back there propped up, ready to go. They got the curtain up. I'm just looking. They're like, all right, dad, you ready? I was like, yeah, let's do this. So I'm sitting at the head with my wife. The curtain is up. The anesthesiologist is there, and he's looking over and kind of describing what's going on while I'm holding my wife's hand and kind of rubbing her forehead. And I just remember, like, they tell you there's 2 big steps to it, right? You're gonna feel the kind of opening, even though she's super numb. She's gonna feel a little bit of pressure from the pulling, like the stretching, and then you're gonna feel like when they're pulling baby out, right? So I didn't see this part, but I see my wife like moving all crazy, because that's what they're doing. And the doctor's like, wow, this is a big baby. They thought that Madeline was gonna be 6 to 7 pounds. Come to find out, she was well over 8 pounds. And she's like, this kid has a big head. And so you hear the kind of the moving of getting baby out, and then you hear baby crying, and Maddie, they walk her over, and I see Maddie right there, and the wife's drugged up, but she's looking because she sees Madeline for the first time, and the first thing my wife says is, wow, she's got so much hair. It was a surreal experience, because it was just a mixture of emotions, and it was a mixture of like being tired, just physically and emotionally drained, but being so elated because now baby girl's out, you're seeing her for the first time, she's just there hanging out. They're like, Dad, come over, like, you want to take pictures and cut the umbilical cord? I'm like, yeah, of course. You know what I mean? So got to cut the cord, got to hold baby, got to take some pictures with baby. They will baby out to the room, so I get to go with them as they will baby to the room. They're getting mama all patched up because, of course, she just had a C-section. And so for about, man, I don't even remember the concept of time, but it felt like 5 to 10 minutes. They were like, hey, Dad, you should do some skin to skin. So I take my shirt off and I hold Maddie for the first time, and it was just crazy. She was up, and it looked, it felt like she was like looking at me and I'm looking at her, and we're just sharing this moment of daughter and father, and it was nuts. But yeah, all that 20 plus hours, I think ended up at like 21, 22 hours of labor, made it well worth it by that point. It really did. I don't know if my wife would do it again like that. But she was super thankful. So I was thankful, and it was just, God blessed us, and it's been awesome ever since. But yeah, man, that's our story. Other people's stories are different, sometimes much longer labor, sometimes way shorter labor, but ultimately just be prepared as best you can. Proper planning prevents poor performance. Have your bags packed, have your food ready, have the car seat ready, good to go. Get some adult diapers. Oh, and you're gonna need adult diapers on the tail end because fluids still come out even when you go home and stuff. So you'll need adult diapers for about another week or two after baby's born and you guys are home. Yeah, a couple days later, we got cleared to take her home. I'll share another Maddie story at some other point, but that's today's. Guys, what were your experiences? Fellow dads, what were your experiences? Talk about it in the comment section below. Dads to be, what's your biggest fear? What are you worried about? What kind of questions do you have? I think between a lot of dads, we can get a good cross flow of information going. Again, that's what this channel is about. So please like, share, subscribe, hit that subscribe button if you enjoy this channel. Go back and watch a few others if this is your first time watching. Thank you for the support, and thank you for those who have supported since day one. We don't take it for granted. I appreciate y'all, and we'll see you next time on the next Maddie and Daddy vlogs. Have a good one.